for 3 long days. The rain never stopped. Dark clouds hung silently over the quiet farming town of Ashford, Iowa. Standing beside an old wooden fence was 17-year-old Thomas Reed. In his trembling hands, he held yesterday's newspaper. The front page spoke of war. More American soldiers had crossed the ocean, more battles had been fought, more lives had been lost, and more families had received the heartbreaking telegram that every parent feared. But Thomas wasn't reading the headlines. His eyes were locked on a single photograph, a group of young soldiers standing shoulder to shoulder.
Before leaving, he had placed his warrant back home. 3 months
Looked fearless. Others tried to hide their fear, yet every face carried the same quiet determination. As Thomas stared at the picture, he imagined one familiar face among them, his older brother, Samuel. 2 years earlier, Samuel had left home wearing the same proud smile. Before he boarded the train, he placed his old leather compass into Thomas's hands. Then he said something Thomas would never forget. No matter where life takes you, always find your way back home. But Samuel never came home. Only 3 months later, another letter arrived. It wasn't written by Samuel, it came from the United States War Department. The message was short, cold, unforgiving. Staff Sergeant Samuel Reed had been killed during heavy fighting in Italy. From that day forward, silence filled the Reed family home. Thomas's mother rarely smiled again. His father buried himself in endless hours of work, speaking less with each passing season. Every evening, one chair at the dinner table remained empty. No one ever moved it, no one ever spoke about it. But Thomas carried that empty chair.
recruiting office with a heart.
How old are you, son? Sir.
That small lie opened the door to a world no 17-year-old could ever truly understand.
And echoed through his mind. If Samuel was old enough to give his life for his country, why am I too young to serve it? That question slowly became an obsession. By the spring of 1944, war was everywhere. On the radio, in the newspapers, inside every conversation. Boys barely older than Thomas were leaving home. Some returned wearing medals. Many never returned at all. Then, Thomas made the decision that would change his life forever. One quiet afternoon, he opened the old family Bible. Inside lay his birth certificate.